Welcome back, Questers, to another episode of Grill Quest. Today our quest yields from Skyrim, and that's where we are right now. Let's find our quest and see what we're cooking today. It looks like today's quest is, a classic, and nice and simple. Apple and cabbage stew with sausage. Let's get this up on the board and start the recipe. If you've never been to Skyrim, it is a gorgeous place, albeit cold. I typically do a lot of work for Whiterun, so I've been to Skyrim a good handful of times. I haven't made this recipe before. I do a lot with Orzamer venison, but today we're right next to Riverwood, which is just a gorgeous location. Definitely worth checking it out. So let's go grab our recipe book and see what we have to cook today. The apple and cabbage stew is a really simple but very hearty recipe. It's traditional across all the Nords, whether you're a Stormcloak or an Imperial. This is a dish you're going to enjoy. The add-on here is the sausage. Typically it's just the cabbage and apple stew, which is hearty unto itself. Let's check out the ingredients, read a little bit of the subcontext, and go from there. Alright, so today we're doing some unsalted butter. We're going to use a leek, but just the white part of a leek. We've got 1/2 of a head of green cabbage, which you can find all over the place here. We're going to add in a little thyme for flavor, and it looks like we're going to do some chicken broth and 1 apple, which again, you can find all over the place here in Skyrim. For the apple and cabbage stew, the Imperials prefer a version of this dish that uses red cabbage, which they say is sweeter, but true Nords are unwavering in their affection for this traditional recipe. It produces a richly flavored broth that is both nutritious and delicious, despite the limited ingredient list. Alright, so I think today what we're going to do is we're going to prep the vegetables, get them all chopped up, ready to go. Then we're going to get the sausage out and cook that through. The reason why we're going to do that is I'm going to do a beer boil sausage, which will help cook the inside of the sausage and retain the flavor without popping the skin of the sausage. And then we're going to grill it to crunch up the outside. When that is done, we'll then step into the apple and cabbage recipe, which also uses the burner. So we're going to try to maximize our tools today. Let me go grab those vegetables. I like that here in the midden, I'm able to use different tools from around the multiverse. So I've got my favorite pressed metal bowls. They're great. You can heat them up. They're easy to wash. They come in different sizes. We're going to put our vegetables in there after we prep them. So we have our cabbage, our apple, and our leek. Let's grab some tools and start chopping. Trusty butcher's knife. We're going to chop right in here. Leek first. Alright, we're going to trim the edge off, and we're keeping just the whites. So this part of the leek, out of here. Don't need it. Take the butt, gone. We're going to slice this nice and thin, or at least the best as possible. Again, I am not a professional chef, so my slices are probably going to be thicker in some spots and thinner than the other. Chop, chop. Skyrim also has an abundance of delicious cheeses. Something I didn't really know until my first time I came here. I thought I would struggle finding cheese, but these Nords love their cheese. I wonder if dragons could make cheese? Is there a dragon cheese? No, I don't think dragons won't make cheese. Alright, so we've got our leeks here. There's some green bits we're going to pull out, just to stay true to the recipe. So let me get those out of here. Sort these through. Now in this recipe, we're going to boil down a lot here, but with the leeks in particular, we are going to saute them in butter first, right up to the edge of it being brown, and then we'll add in the cabbage and cook that through. And the reason why we're going to do that is we want our cabbage a little bit softer, and we want the flavor of the leeks to pull through. And by sauteing the leeks, we're going to pop that flavor and peel off some of the pungent onioniness that comes with leeks. All right, let's get rid of these greens and then hop right into cutting the rest of the fruits and vegetables. Up next, the apple. One recipe I'm really hoping I'm given is to make sweet rolls. Every time I come to Skyrim, all I'm doing is eating sweet rolls. I know there's a bunch of delicious meats and other prepared meals, but holy everyone, those sweet rolls are delicious. So fingers crossed that someone asks for that quest in the future. Cord, and now we're going to chop it into small pieces. All right, we're going to dice it. Okay. Trying to aim for at least issue the same size, so that way it all cooks relatively evenly. Boom. Riverwood typically does not get ambushed by dragons that frequently, and with the bubble that I'm in from the midden, I should be safe from any type of random dragon attacks that come through. But I have seen a couple arrows whiz by and gotten really close to puncturing, so let's make sure no errant shot grabs me in the knee or anything like that. All right, apple diced. I know a lot of you will probably be cringing because I just flipped the knife upside down to slide my food, but I don't want to dull my blade, so I just use the rear of the knife. Next up, the cabbage. Now we need half of this. I'm going to take this cabbage butt off for now. Boom. Half the cabbage. I'm going to take some of these outside leaves just for cleanliness. Put it in the pile. Now the cabbage, we're chopping thin, so we're going to cut it similar to an onion. We're going to create little rows, and I'm going to chop it thin from where I chopped off the butt. Oop, we got some spillage here. No big deal. Oh my gosh, there's cabbage everywhere. Good enough for me. Put that up. Get the majority of our cabbage in here. Boom. Excellent. Cabbage, leeks, apples. Let's set them to the side and start prepping for cooking the sausage. This recipe does say it pairs well with a cured sausage like we're going to cook and a nice cold beer. Now, let's get this situation prepped for boiling the brats. We're going to need our big bowl. We're going to get some beer, pretty common from around here, just a light ale. And we're going to start bringing that to a boil and drop our sausages in. All right, let's get this lit. We're filling up our pot with a nice light ale. We don't want anything that's too hoppy or too strong in flavor, because that flavor does permeate the sausage. And while a lot of individuals love a nice IPA or hoppy thick beer, it doesn't translate well when you're cooking sausage. Four bottles of delicious ale. Now we'll wait for it to boil, and then we'll cook our sausages. Here in Skyrim, there is still a war raging on between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks. And every time I come, the locals ask, which side am I on? who are you siding with? And for me, I'm just traveling from the Midden. I'm just here trying to help people out. They send me wherever they need me. It's not my deal to get involved with whatever local war or fanfare is going on. But if I were to pick a side that I would stand proud and true with, it would be the Stormcloaks. But don't tell the locals. Let me know in the comments below whether you'd side with Imperial, with the Stormcloaks, or you're just part of the Black Hand. While this is boiling, beer break, and let's warm up the grill. This grill that they gave me is so busted. I'm really hoping that I get enough XP to level up to the point where they actually recognize that I'm doing good work, and they'll get me new tools. I'm going to miss it when I have to get rid of it, though. I have seen at least one dragon while I was in Whiterun, and it was a pretty brief passing, but the roar is something that I never thought I would hear in my entire existence. It hits you first in the core, and it resonates your whole body. You feel it in your soul and in your heart. It was an incredible but nerve-wracking experience. So I'm really hoping that if you ever do make it to Skyrim, you're able to experience something as cool as that. Have you ever seen a Horker? Horkers are scary as hell. I thought a dragon would be scarier than a Horker. No. You see one of those things pop up from the water and start charging you, you don't think they're going to move that fast. Horkers are the scariest things in Skyrim. I challenge you to find something else scarier than a Horker. The beer has a pretty decent simmer going on. We're going to drop our sausages in and let them start cooking. Now, these sausages are local to Skyrim. I don't know what meat's in them, but they're incredibly delicious. So it could be a blend. Who knows what they have in here, to be completely honest with you. So as you're probably seeing, there is still a bit of a head cooking from the beer that's going on. When it starts boiling, this head will start to dissipate, but for now, here we are with a big pot of hot beer and some sausages floating in it. Have you ever been to the College of Winterhold? What a gorgeous place. The scenery is just the most incredible thing I've seen here in Skyrim. It is cold as hell coming up off of that water. And if you're afraid of heights, stay the hell away from that. That is going to spook the crap out of you. This is my favorite way of cooking sausages. I like to do the nice beer boil for two reasons. One, adds a little bit of flavor. Two, it cooks the sausage from the inside out while not cracking the casing. And that allows the natural flavor and moisture inside the sausage to stay within the sausage while you're grilling it. Because when you put it on the grill, at that point in time, all you're doing is crisping the outside of the sausage to give it a nice crunch. So I always do a beer boil first. What we're looking for is for the sausage to take on kind of a white-gray color, which is going to tell me that it's pretty well cooked on the inside. It looks like our sausages are done. I'm just going to transfer them directly to the grill and start getting them cooked up on the outside. Boom. Sausage. Get over here. We're going to close that up for a little bit. We're going to get rid of our nasty beer water, and then we're going to hop into cooking the actual apple and cabbage stew. I'm going to use the same pot because I really only have one. So let's go. Excellent. The fire is relit. We got our pot on here, and what we're going to do is we're going to melt our 2 tablespoons of butter into this pan, and then we're going to add the leeks. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get them almost to browning, and then drop in the cabbage and let that cook up. Spatula. The one thing I have to be careful of with this cooktop is it puts out a lot of heat, and I can risk burning things. So I'm just going to be careful when I'm cooking with it. We're going to turn up our sausages a bit. Pop open the top. Let's give them a roll, see how they're looking. Beautiful. Starting to brown up nicely. I think my hot spot is in the mid front. I gotta be careful of that. Our butter is almost melted. While it's doing that, hydration break. Delicious. I always get the local brew. Our butter is melted. We're going to drop in our leeks. Our sausages are cooking quite nicely. Let's make sure these leeks don't burn up on us. I can already smell their flavor coming through. And who doesn't like things cooked in butter, honestly? I mean, unless you're allergic or it's part of your food preference, throw that in as an exception. Found another hot spot. It's right there. Turn that down. Check my leaks. I got to meet Ulfric once. It was a pretty unique experience. I couldn't understand a damn word he was saying, but it was pretty cool. It's also a really big dude. They are right on the edge of browning. I'm going to add my cabbage in and cook that down maybe for the next 10 minutes until it's nice and soft. Oh, yeah. There's some bits in here that... cabbage butt bits. I'm not a big fan of cabbage butt bits. We're going to mix this up, make sure the cabbage is evenly coated in the butter and that the leeks don't stick to the bottom, because if they do, they're just going to burn out. You, get out of here. I don't want you in my bowl. See, I'm not much of a fighter. I'm a bit of an adventurer, but before I got put in this role for some reason, I was actually in quest scheduling. So I saw a lot of the activity come through, and while it seemed exciting, it just didn't seem like something I would want to do. I don't know. Maybe that's why they kicked me to cooking. Who knows? These are softening up nicely. I'll let them sit and simmer for a bit, and I'll check on our sausages here. They are getting a nice browning. They're looking mighty fine. I can start to smell the cooked cabbage coming through now. Cabbage goes from having absolutely no smell to smelling like cooked cabbage instantly. There we go. Now it's starting to cook down real nice. Time for us to add the... And we're going to do 6 cups of chicken broth. 2, 4, and 6. Let's give this a big old mix. Next, we're going to add the apple. Apparently, we're going to cook this until the apples are softened to my taste. Sausages are looking good. Looks like we're almost done. While we cook these through, do another drink break, check on the sausages. Sausage time. These sausages are browning up nicely. They're going to have a bit of a crunch and still be moist on the inside, retain all that flavor from the sausage itself, as well as the beer boil. I cannot wait to try them. Super secret, I always cook a little bit extra, so that way I can try some before I send it on out to the adventurer who's going to receive it. I want to make sure that it's at least relatively edible, because if not, they're going to have a bad time. I'm going to get yelled at. Nobody wins in that situation. Doing some cleanup where you can't see me. Wow. I didn't think this was going to smell as tasty as what it does, being just cabbage and apples. This smells delicious. All right. I think it has to do with the thyme and the chicken broth. They're a good combo. They always pair up really well. These apples are still a little firm, so we're going to let it cook down a little bit longer. I'll check on the sausages again, come back at it in a second. There it is. That's a good boil. That will help blend the flavors. Cook these apples down. Give that a mix. My sausages are hissing at me, so let me check those. Woo. Maybe it's dragon meat inside these sausages. These are gorgeous, and I'm going to consider them done. We're going to take them off, turn off our grill, and wait for the stew to be done. We're going to pop out a piece of apple, bring it to the cutting board. Boop. We're going to give it a softness test. All right. I think that our stew is done. The apples are nice and soft while still having a little bit of a crunch to it. It's very aromatic. The flavors are just exciting and wonderful. We're going to serve some up for ourselves. Leave the rest for the adventurers, and let's give it a try, see if we passed or failed on this recipe. Excellent. We have our serving of the apple and cabbage stew. Hopefully there was a good glamour shot of it. Let's give this a try. Grab an apple. Grab some cabbage. Pretty sure there's a little bit of leek in there. Oh wow. Ooh. That is a really good that is a really good flavor combo. I did not expect the two of those to pair so incredibly well, but it's simple, it's got flavor, but not a lot of complex flavor, which honestly is refreshing sometimes. You get some of that softness from the butter itself. This is really good. I may actually have to cook this recipe when I head back to the Midden after this adventure. Oh yeah, they're gonna be happy. Sausage time. It's a beer-boiled sausage. It's delicious. There's still a lot of flavor in it. A little bit of greasiness from the fat from the inside of sausage, but it's really flavorful. It's still moist. It's got a good crunch. I can't wait to finish this both up for dinner. It's going to be awesome. With that being said, I would consider this another successful grill quest today. Thank you for joining along with me, questers, for this simple yet impactful and flavorful meal. I was super excited to do it. I'm super excited for the outcome, and I cannot wait to see where they send me next. Until next time, I'll be at the Midden, relaxing and getting ready for our next quest. Until then, stay safe and be kind.